On a small industrial estate somewhere in California is the honey-filled home of Beetronics. King B Felipe invited me to hang out at his hive, and we played some guitar, we checked out some secret upcoming new releases, and he gave me a tour behind the scenes. So if you're at all interested in pedals or you're a complete gear nerd, sit back, relax, pour yourself a glass of honey, dig out your favorite fuzz pedal, and join me behind the scenes at the Beetronics Hive.
Yeah, so welcome to the Hive.
Thank you. Finally
Hive.
good to be in the Hive that I've seen so often on the internet.
Yes. For a while we did not show the Hive, for like quite a while. Then at some point we were just like, okay.
Why not?
I don't know.
Has it always been called the Hive?
It used to be at a smaller place. The idea is to eventually put up a sign. We've been here for way too long to not have a sign, 1.5 years, but it used to be in the door. Eventually we need to do it again.
Sure.
But we try to not attract much attention. You know, this is pretty industrial neighborhood.
Yeah, of course.
You know, at night gets kind of a little crazy. So
Kind of sketchy.
yeah.
So you got pedals everywhere, and not just Beetronics pedals, but
we do.
pedals from everybody.
We do. We have more in the drawers as well. Like.
Why do you need the massive recording station when you make pedals here?
We always recorded. Like that was always my life and my brother's life was recording. Back in the day in Brazil, we owned recording studios and like produced bands. Like that's what we always done. So there was never a time in my life that I didn't have a studio. Like since I'm probably 14.
Wow.
When I was 14, we convinced my mom to move out of her room because her room was the only big room where we could actually build 2 rooms, and then we actually separated, built a wall, and then put a wall there, and that was our first studio inside my mom's room. So, and we had studios like we've recorded, me and my brother, since we were kids. Like recording has been, you know, a thing.
Is your brother part of Beetronics, or is he doing something
He
else?
started being like, whenever we started, he used to work at Beetronics. Nowadays, he doesn't really work, but also somewhat, you know, works because we're brothers, you know, we're always together. I'm calling him and saying, yeah, what do you think about this? You know, and he also helps me out, like we were talking about the videos and stuff. He mixes most of our stuff. And
are you the big brother or the little brother?
I'm the middle brother. He is the elder, and we have a younger brother.
Cool.
Anyways, but we always had recording studios and stuff, and then when we moved here, I was part of a band, and 4 years we were touring, and then whenever that band broke up, my brother ended up becoming the head engineer for the studio that the label owns, and then we kept working in studio and recording, and we had a different lookout at some point in another part of town, but then for years, like, I was already having like Beetronics going, and most times I would want to play, I would come into the warehouse, which is close to my house, and we would go a lot to the studio, you know, to NRG. Then at some point I was like, oh, we have this other spot, but it's 4 and stuff, and I just had the idea of putting it all together, and we're like, why don't we put the studio together with Beetronics warehouse? And then we had a few doors down from here, a much smaller place that also had the studio. My brother mixes a lot of records here. He just recently mixed like this record that's from this girl called 𝗦𝗨𝗪, she's very popular in Brazil, like very, very popular, like Grammy nominated artist, and they mixed here the whole album. He makes a bunch of stuff like here.
So this is where you do the music and the playing and the recording. Where is it you build the pedals?
Back here. This is both are the fun places. This is the music fun, this is the nerdy fun stuff. It's a compact place, or whole place, like how I mentioned, like we used to be a few doors down, and we had a space that's half of this with the same amount of stuff. So when we actually moved here, pretty soon we were like, okay, we're kind of gonna need a bigger space soon, you know, because it's a lot of stuff that we have. But we usually work, you know, we're a small team, but we work pretty well together, and a lot of people do a lot of things and wear a lot of hats, and we make it work, you know.
So that's a packing station where you
That's
ship
our
things out.
packing station. Like here is also kind of shipping, packaging area. They all kind of function together.
So these are all, when I get a pedal from you, these are the manuals and the cards and...
Yeah, the little things.
And I know it's maybe not super interesting to anyone watching the video, but I find this packing peanuts thing amazing.
That thing saves a lot of time. Like
Yeah,
before
I've always wondered, like, how do these guys get these pedals in these boxes? Because when I get them, I'm like, oh man, there's stuff everywhere, and the kids are kicking it around.
We do a lot with paper as well, like, but in some cases we do the beans as well. Just this changed a lot. Like, we used to have these bags that are taller than you, and then it was always like, oh, we need beans. Okay, grab this thing and like throw it. You know, it's like terrible. Anyways, the thing helps. It's just.
So this is your stock. This is pedals that are finished, ready to ship out.
This is pedals that are ready, and here are some enclosures that just came in. These are probably Vespas. No, these are Fat Bees. What are these? Oh no, these are. I'm crazy. What are these, Gus?
What?
Que são esses daqui?
Nectar.
Nectar.
It's a bear enclosure.
Is it nectar?
There.
Yes. Yeah.
And you get your enclosures made locally, or are they done overseas, or?
Que? Oh no, it's 𝗦𝗩𝗢𝗪, right? Yeah, that's why I'm looking. It's not nectar because it's missing a hole. It's 𝗦𝗩𝗪𝗪, yeah. Okay.
Where are these made?
I almost had a stroke for a second. I was like, these are all missing a hole.
Ordered the wrong ones.
What?
Where are these made?
These are made at a shop just like a few miles from here, like Sun Valley. We work with a guy who's been with us for a while now, Jason, and it's pretty cool. You know, it's actually pretty cool how the boxes are made. If, like, you know, a lot of places they have like lasers and stuff. These are made pretty old school. Like, if you look the corners and everything, they're actually sanded, like by a person that is on the sanding machine, and like they're actually. I don't know exactly how it's called, but somewhat of like a stamping thing that like they'll have a, you know, they go like, so, you know, a lot of the planning whenever we're making also has to do with the method is made. It would be cool to have a laser machine and do all the bends and folds however you could, but I also value a lot that's pretty cool. It's actually, if you go watch them make it, it's handmade, like, you know, like it's pretty crazy, which is cool, and it's made right there. These are still going to get anodized unless they are used for like custom shop that we painted here. But otherwise, we take to another shop, which is also close here, where they anodize it. These are our stations, which right now are a mess. We just came back from them, so it's not...
If you think that's a mess, you should definitely come to my studio at some point.
Yeah, no, it's a mess. I'm saying usually it's more organized, ready to go for us to assemble stuff.
Right.
But this is where we assemble. This is where we package. This is where, you know, nowadays a lot of the stuff we do, you know.
What's that? That looks like something super important and super low tech.
They have many of these, and some they use for like heights, like they. Yo, Gus, pra que tá com esse coisinha aqui? I would say right now it's just so the board sits on it.
The stick, yeah. Let me grab
It's just so the board sits on it.
Yeah.
It's because he's adding pots.
Yeah.
And
the legs need to go through.
the legs need to go through, and if he leaves it sitting on the table, they keep on falling. So they just puts probably there. Like, I don't know.
The pot has this little leg, so when you do this, you need some room.
I don't have a stick. I need a stick when I get home. Thanks, Gustavo.
Yeah.
We kind of go coming up. I know. It's like when we go coming up, like we have. These are sticks for some heights that like they are like, oh, this is the height for like the foot switch thing. So they just put next to it and look. I didn't come up with that method, but it is a cool one. Anyways, we have usually here like PCBs that were assembled, things that are like these are some repairs, but like you know, you can see here like circuit that are done, ready to go, and then we store a lot of that, you know, like circuits that are done. We've been like in the recently we started doing like some bigger batches of each process whenever we're doing it, you know, so we go in and we build like if we're gonna do soldering, we don't do soldering of a couple hundred, we do a couple thousand, and we go in and we really, because we get better.
Sure.
Like, you know, when we're doing one
Sure.
model, like we, at some point, we're doing 2,000
flying
euros.
through it.
Like, if we go back to the one that we haven't done in a long time, sometimes there is all these little details. Oh, I usually do this. And it kind of like ends up taking longer. So we build a lot of them and we store them in these, and then we go assembling them as they go. Here there is some not prototypes, some actually assemble things for a new product. Put it like a black bar and pretend like I didn't show it, but that's
We'll blur that out.
how it usually
I can see it. You're not
stays.
allowed.
But these are like jellies, for example, that are waiting to go into solder bath. So yeah.
Sweet.
And here we take some photos, have some...
This is where you do your photos.
The black and white photos, yes.
Your photos are always great, and
Thank you,
I've
yeah.
often wondered what you do. So, oh wow, okay.
Actually, it has this right now.
And you know when you do that sort of jittery, that's those sort of
Yeah, we
videos.
did
Is that done there as well?
We did that there as well, yeah. We did all that.
I'm learning.
Yeah,
I'm learning.
Aurelia Photos. Check him out. Aurelia. He's the best. I was always lucky because, like, for some reason I had some friends that are very good, like video and
Yeah, you're
photo,
connected, man.
Like whenever we started, I bought this thing because whenever it was at my house, I bought a camera and I had to learn how to shoot. Like here at Beetronics, like, and I guess in a lot of companies are like that, but we all kind of know to do almost everything that has to do with the step. Like Tato has assembled thousands of pedals, you know. Nowadays he doesn't really assemble pedals, but you know, going through the process, most people start, you know, assembling and then we go doing it. But I personally, I had to learn everything from the beginning because I didn't have $1 to pay anybody.
Sure.
So, you know, I had to learn how to take the photos and this. So I bought that thing whenever and bought a little camera, and I started taking for like a couple of years all the photos from Beetronics are mine, and I had to learn how to use Photoshop because I never knew how to do it. And up until today, like our manuals, I did all the manuals, like I do all of that stuff just because I kind of learned. There's not many people that know so much about the pedal by the time I go make, so it's kind of easier for me to do it than having somebody do 40 pages of manual.
And this is the parts storage room. So you got
Yeah, this
foot
is
switches,
parts.
pots,
Yeah,
rubber feet.
exactly.
I mean, I'm kind of excited by your organizational skills.
We have to, like, all of our pedals are different.
Yeah.
We don't have like same holes or like even knobs. Some kind of share some knobs, but like we usually, each model has its own knob, and like, and even like ports, you know, some have like longer, like pots, and some have shorter. Everything is very different, like in many ways. So there is a lot of parts, even though we only have 10 pedals. Like there is a lot of parts. So yeah, we have to keep it organized. I'm the one that makes the mess, though. Like, I mean, everybody.
Who's the
hates
one that
me
keeps
here.
us organized? The other guys.
Yeah, everybody hates me here
You're the
because
creative
like
genius.
when they know whenever I came through, like just by, you know, because I'm terrible at it. Like, I mean, we'll look at my desk and I haven't been here in a month and a half, and this is still a mess, my desk. But yeah, this is parts, and this also we do testing here as well, because we can shut the door and be either
Sure.
with headphones or even on the little amp.
And do you have a mother pedal? Like everyone's tested against that pedal?
We have some, I mean, usually we're testing to, you know, comparing, if we're going to compare something, we have some that are like out of the last, because, you know, some boards have gone through some revisions of this or that, and like, so we usually try to keep one of the very last, like, you know, we have some, usually it's the stuff that stay for photo, they stay in the bin like for photo, and
that
we know
becomes
that those are
the
stuff that
benchmark.
yeah. But I mean, since we're, like how I said, whenever we're assembling stuff, we're usually doing like a bigger batch. So it's kind of like, it's not like every day they put together 3 different models, and it's usually just once you're going to sit there and you're going to do this for like 2 days in a row testing pedals, and then it's kind of like gets easier. This is our little kitchen area. More bins, more stuff, some artwork, yeah, some cool artwork. That was done by Cristiano Suarez. This was done by Taz.
I mean,
Taz
your
is-
artwork is exceptional,
Thank you. It's pretty cool.
and it is instantly recognizable as Beetronics.
We're lucky that got some cool friends that are
Yeah,
good at this, you know.
I mean, you're lucky, but also you've positioned yourself like this.
I mean, I'm very picky about everything that has to do with visuals. Like a lot of the pedals, like the Jelly, the Swarm, the Fat Bee, and all that, I did the full design by myself. Some of others, like the Zombie and stuff, that have a little more of like illustration skills. I don't have the illustration skills, but I still did most of the rough shape work. So I kind of like how I was saying about like the manual, like I'm the only point that's an in-between that knows part of what's going on the circuit, part of what's going on the visual, part of what is going on the guitar thing. So I kind of connect all those dots. So I'm very picky about that, and I'm always bothering like, oh, it has to be like this, but also the guys are insanely talented, so it helps.
Sure. More parts, more boxes, more organization.
Yeah,
trays.
here's mostly the custom shop stuff. So it's like knobs for custom stuff, like stuff that we do on standard pedals is usually not here. But it's mostly like knobs, and there's some face plates for like custom stuff. Like if we grab a, let's see,
I want to take a
a
handful.
billy
of them.
plates. We know every single one of them, okay? They're kind of, I really mean it.
You know how many of them?
No, I don't think. These they have a rough count, I think, but not like a straight up count. But like, you know, here are like face plates for like abelhas.
Abuelas. How do you say that, by the way?
Abelha.
Abuela.
Abelha.
Abela.
Abelha.
Abelia.
Abelha.
Okay, I got it. Don't laugh at me.
You got
Abelha.
better, you got better.
Abela.
Abelha.
Abelha. It's hard.
It is. That's why I kept saying tropical fuzz.
But these like the custom shop stuff stays here. Whenever we create a new model, I usually go in and come up with like color variations, and we have a variety, and we're kind of like, so we get these made, and then we go through them and go making custom shop stuff as we go. But whenever we actually make a new model, we make a good variety of them before deciding what's going to be the standard color, and I usually show a bunch of people, and then most of the times I ask for people's opinion, and then everybody has a different opinion than mine, and I end up going with mine. Lately, like the Wannabee one, it's one that was not my first option, but everybody was like, no, that's the option for sure. And the Abelha as well, like everybody said so much, they liked so much the black and silver, but originally was a different one.
Dude, the Abelia is so classy.
It is, yeah.
I like the other custom colors you've done, but so classy, and I enjoyed the shots that I did with it. I'm like, this is fun, because it was already beautiful, and I went like that with the camera.
Yeah, one of the things with it, whenever I started showing and everybody started liking, because you know it is the tropical thing, so the original faceplate was very colorful,
Yeah, sure.
you know, and very like tropical. But whenever I started showing, everybody was like on the black, it was just looked classy. It was just like, wow, like this looks like a jewel, you know, like. And then I thought for a while a little bit, and I was like, we make everything so colorful that I actually would surprise people more if I didn't make it colorful right now. So
Yeah,
that's kind
really
of how
muted.
yeah. But it's like, okay, we go.
And it did change my opinion of what to expect from the pedal when I first switched on. I'm like, okay, he's making a statement here. He's not just designed something. Because I know your pedals so well, I'm like, there's a reason this is this color.
Yeah.
What does it sound like?
Yeah, cool, awesome.
This is NC002.
Yeah, that's probably stuff that we were making, and then you see, it's not a color that we ever actually made.
No, I'm
Like we haven't made that purple.
yeah.
Yeah,
Purple.
One to Danish Pete. He's the
Oh,
only
okay.
one that has one.
Ah.
Yeah. I think this is a prototype. The PCB inside. It's only a prototype.
And then this looks like the painting room in here.
Yes, let me turn the lights on.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is kind of like our dirty room, which is These are like some over hives before they actually get fully aged. They still look pretty shiny. They eventually go through some like honey bath that makes them look all
Of course they
aged.
do. Of course they do, Felipe.
But yeah, here's kind of like our dirty work room. So this is where we paint all of them. And it's fun, yeah, it's fun. It makes a lot of noise to turn this thing on. Yeah, but it's pretty dirty right now. It should be clean soon. But yeah, we do like, you know, the whole custom shop is like a stencil process that we do. So we cut out stencils. It's like pretty
Can I show that?
graffiti, old school kind of vibe, you know, so.
So you're going from that to that, right?
Yep.
Or probably that way around.
That was probably a reference somebody was using, because even though they are each one unique,
Yeah.
we try to make them look somewhat similar
Of
on
course.
the how
Of course.
whenever we are actually making the, you know, all the. And it goes changing through the years too, which is a funny thing.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can see, like if I see a node like Royal Jelly online, somebody's selling one, I look at it and I'm like, oh, I remember this was when my brother was doing the jellies and he would do it that way, or the jellies, no, the overhives, and he did it that way. I can see the ones that I did too, for sure. Like I can spot. I'm like, that was whenever I was actually doing that. And we used to do that. We used to do. Dude, this was crazy. We used to build these at my apartment, right?
And do the spraying.
We did the spraying and we did the sanding too. And the sanding in my apartment, like I live, you know, at a small like place where like there is an apartment building right next to me. So the hallway between the two apartments, like it makes a big noise, right? Like any noise you're making, it just like echoes. And then we would turn like sanding machines on and it would be like, man, the whole day I would be like, dude, how do my neighbors do? And I have a neighbor right next to me that she, you know, she has like her balcony there, and we would paint octahives, and dude, like all the rest of blue stuff would fly into her, like stuff that she put into dry outside. It was like terrible. I don't know, like my neighbors are very cool to me because we did that for a couple years, and like at the very end it was kind of heavy because like we were already selling to Guitar Center, and I was literally painting them on my balcony, and it was like, it was a lot of pedals. So it was not like, okay, it was not like, oh yeah, he did a pedal today. No, it was like he did 150 pedals today painting in a balcony, you know, like so the smell. It was terrible, but it was the start of it, you know. It was the, yeah.
And here you are.
Yeah, and then my wife got pregnant, and then I was like, I have to get out of the house. This is not going to work.
You have to, or
A baby
what did she
and
say?
painting pedals, and imagine all these boxes. Like back then, like we had boxes up to the ceiling at my apartment. It was like my apartment became unlivable because of so much stuff. But it's also like, I mean, we're trying and meaning to move for a long time, but we are in Los Angeles. It's not easy to find spots. There's a reason why California is so expensive. You know, there's not many places. Like there's a lot of people. So like warehouse spaces, especially small warehouse spaces, are very hard to find. Most of the weed business took small like warehouse spaces to, you know, grow weed. So like they're all taken. Like you don't find like spaces like ours. Whenever they become available, they go like this, you know. And so it took a long time for us to actually be able to, you know. Yeah. So, and this is kind of our office area as well, which.
This is where you talk to people and email people and.
Yeah, this is my desk, which looks pretty clean, but still pretty messy. We got actually, our goal whenever we moved here was like, oh, let's make the office nice. We just haven't sat down to do this. The office just was the only place that remained. We made the studio nice, but the office we just kept how it is. But it's good, you know, we get all of our stuff done, pretty much. Yeah, you see how we did that? I see you looking at the top saying, oh, these people are crazy.
I'm working out how, when I ever get a bigger studio, I'm going to make it a studio rather than just a big old space. So I'm taking in tips.
Yeah, no, this was like for example, the black on the ceiling there, that was like, we had built, because we built everything, right? Everything you see in the studio, we did it. Because, I mean, I had built a lot of studios back in the day, like with, you know, the first one in my mom's room. I think I was less than 14. Danny was probably 15. I was probably 13. We already started building, like learning how to build and, you know, kind of like trying to do. And whenever we came to do here, this one, because we had built already the one on the other warehouse. And at the other warehouse, we built everything, like every wall, every ceiling, everything. Like behind here, there's a gate, right? Behind this, there's a gate.
Yeah.
And we
so you built that wall?
Yeah, we built that wall.
Oh, yeah, I can see.
But like on the other one, we built the wall, like by ourselves, right? And then whenever we came to do this one, whenever we started doing this ceiling, the day that we started doing this ceiling, dude, it was so hard to do the whole fucking drywall on the ceiling, like, and the whole thing. And I came out of here, like, I was like, dude, I'm not going to be able to build everything by ourselves. Like, this time it's not going to work.
Sure.
And then I hired some guys to build the ceilings, to build these walls. But then still we made every panel, like, everything you see, we made it. Everything, like, that's actually visual, we made it. And then I made these panels as well, and the ceiling and all that, and wired it up. And then at the end, whenever we were done, my brother comes in, he's like, yo, dude, just wanted to say a thing, like, this silver ceiling is really freaking me out, you know, why don't we make the ceiling black? And we're just like, dude, are we really gonna, like, now start, like, so we brought everything down, and we just went and bought some fabric and just put the fabric just so, and the vibe got much better, really, because, like, whenever the ceiling was all silver here, it was, because usually, like, everything is off, like the lights, whenever we were working in the studio, you know, like, lights there are off, and the vibe, you know, it's a lot more mellow.
Yeah.
And the black ceiling really helped for that whenever we did it. But it was like, after we were fully done, we were like, oh yeah, we're done. Then my brother suggested that, and we were just like, oh fuck. And then we kept thinking, how can we do it? And
He was right, man. He was right.
He was right, yeah. It was good, probably.
Okay, well,
yeah.
Thank you for the tour, man.
Cool,
I really enjoyed seeing
this
inside.
This came from, you know, the movie, the Straight Outta Compton movie.
Straight Outta Compton, the movie?
Yeah, the movie. So they shot it at NRG, right? The studio scenes is shot at NRG. And NRG had these panels that NRG has. And then they had to shoot some scenes where they wanted the camera to kind of like go through and like make a bigger move. So they end up building a bunch of these to make like longer and like, you know. And then at the end of the shooting, they left everything at NRG. And then I sat there and I would go there and would be like, yo, Jay, what's up with those panels that are there? And then they had some other manager that was saying, no, we're going to use it, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, you guys don't have a place for this shit, you know, just give it to me. And then one day they call me, they're like, just come pick it up, dude, we need
So these are the panels that are from the movie?
These are the panels from the movie, yeah. These, and what else? Those two, we made it from stuff that was from the movie. And
very cool, man.
And it's cool because it was built all fancy with all this like fancy fabric because they had money to replicate and do the stuff. But those are cool.
Thank you. Thank you for the tour.
Yeah,
Thank you for letting us inside the hive and seeing behind all the things you do. And I can see from now what you do, why your pedals look and sound, and how the business is going. You guys seem super chill. Super focused, but also super loose as well, you know?
It is somewhat. I mean, the vibe overall, it's just like, you know, has to be a good vibe, you know, like just.
Of course.
Yeah, we love guitar, we love music, so just glad we can do this, you know, and this has always been a dream of mine, you know, okay, we can do whatever we want, you know, pretty much. Like I wake up, I don't go anywhere that I don't want to be, you know, I kind of live, you know.
That's inspiring.
So it's a happy place because, you know, because of that, you know. I'm not doing anything that I don't not like I love everything about it, but you know, but I love most of it, you know.
Yeah. Well, we're going to end it there, I think. Thank you for watching this tour of the Beetronics Hive. Any questions for Felipe and me, leave them in the comments section. There's also links to Beetronics in the video description, and we'll see you in another video. Bye-bye.